السلام عليكم and good afternoon everyone. إن شاء الله اليوم راح نتعلم عن الحجم وكيف نقيسه. So we are going to learn how to solve questions related to volume. Before we start, we have to remind you of the volume. Volume, it has length, width, and height. It is called a 3D. It means a three-dimensional or three dimensions. Okay. So let us start solving questions of this unit. Question number 1. Which of these figures have volume? The shape that has length, width, and height, it is called solid figure, and it has volume. We measure the volume. So which one we can measure the volume or has volume? This figure and this figure. Rectangular prisms. Okay. And here we need to find the volume, area, or length. Length means one dimension. Start from here and end here, الاريا معناها بالعربي المساحة. We measure the surface of two dimensions or two-dimensional figure. So this is the area. How you find it? We multiply length and width, only two dimensions. How about volume? We can measure the volume for figures that have three dimensions. Length, width, and height. So any figure has three dimensions. It has volume. لديه حجم. So here we have descriptions, and we need to identify what we need to measure after reading the question. Question number 2. The amount of soil needed to fill a flower pot. Flower pot, like this shape. So it has a space inside. فيه فراغ من الداخل. So we measure volume. And it is three-dimensional figure. The distance, المسافة of a bike ride. When you ride a bike or a bicycle, you start from a point and you end up at a point. So it is one dimension. هاي المسافة. قياس المسافة. So we measure what? We measure length. So you have to write length. Here volume. Let us read the other one. Amount of wall space. You have a wall, حائط. The wall has only length and width, two dimensions. So we measure the surface. It means area. We measure the area. So these are the answers of these questions. The number 2 is volume. The answer of number 3 is length. And the fourth question is area. The amount of concrete needed to fill a patio. Patio هي المساحة التي أمام البيت. It has height, length, and width. So we measure its volume. Let us complete and move on to the sixth question. The space inside moving truck. Truck هو الشاحنة. اوكي خلفية الشاحنة نضع فيها أغراض فيها فراغ. It has a space. We put things inside. We fill it in with things. So we measure its volume. نقيس الحجم في الداخل. The distance, المسافة. Same as number 3. Distance, المسافة. It is the distance between 2 points. So we measure length. هي مسافة بين نقطتين. لذلك نقيس الطول فقط. Sorry for writing, I'm using my finger. So we measure length. Determine the volume of the figure. How you can find the volume of any figure using counting unit cubes. So no need to count all cubes. Sometimes you cannot see all faces, the back and the front, the right and the left. So there is a specific way to determine the volume. كيف احنا نقيس حجم شكل معين باستخدام وحدات القياس هي unit cubes. So first you need to find the number of layers. كم طبقة? See here we have one layer. And you need to know the number in each layer. كم عدد المكعبات أو وحدات القياس في الطبقة الواحدة. You can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I write 4. So here, what you need to do with these numbers, you multiply. So you can say 1 multiplied by 4 equal 4 cubic units or unit cubes. Here, how many layers in question 2? And the figure of question 2? 2 layers. How many, what's the number in each layer? This is one layer. How many? 4. So 4 is repeated 2 times. So multiply 2 times 4 equal 8 cubic units. The same with others, number 3 and number 4. There is another way, في طريقة أخرى to determine the volume. So volume equal length multiplied by width multiplied by height. نضرب الطول والعرض والارتفاع. So what is the length? Here is the length. The length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The width is 4. What's the height? 2 layers. See? You remember counting layers? 2. So you multiply them. The length is 6 times. The width is 4. And the height is 2. So multiply them. 6 times 4 equal 24 times 2, 48 cubic units. Cubic units. Remember, لازم تكتب وحدة القياس cubic units to deserve 1 score more حتى تاخذ علامة. Here you can count how many layers? 2 layers. How many in one layer? 5. So 5 times 2 equals 10. But let us try the other way using the formula. This is the formula. Length times width times height. So what is the length? Is 4. Sorry, 5. Times. What is the width? Only 1. What is the height? 2. So after multiplying 3 factors, you will get 10. 10 cubic unit. Okay, here, what's the length? 5. What's the width? 2. What's the height? 3. So you multiply 5 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3. You can start with compatible numbers or easier numbers. Here, 5 times 2 equals 10 times 3 equals 30 cubic units. Cubic units. Here you can use the same, but first you need to label the 3 dimensions. What's the length here? 4. What's the width? 2. What's the height? 6. So multiply them and find or determine the volume. Okay, you can say 2 times 4 times 6 in any order. You can say in another order 6 times 2 times 4. The answer will be the same. Okay, and you can do the same with number 2. Here we have numbers instead of cubic units or unit cubes. This is the length 7 multiplied by, this is the width 2, and the last dimension is the height, so multiply them. Okay, 7 times 2 times 5 equal, you or start with easier number. 2 times 5 10 times 7 equals 70. And what is the unit we use? Cubic centimeter. So you say cubic centimeter. This is very important to write it when you finish determining or counting, calculating the volume. Here we can determine the volume in a different way. When you multiply length and width together, they give you the base. So you don't have length and width. So you can say easily volume equal base multiplied by height. So what is the base here? 30 times 4. So you learned before how to multiply tens with ones. So move 0 and 3 times 4 equal 12. So 120 cubic inch. It is very important to write the unit, the measurement unit. You can do the same with number 5 and 6. Here, which one is true? How can you find the volume of A and B? They are equal and have the same volume, but what is the different ways to find the volume? Okay, see, here you can say 3 times 4 times 2, or you can say 2 times 3 times 4, no problem. It is commutative feature or property. So whatever you order the number factors, it doesn't matter. See, 4 times 3 times 2, this is correct. And number B has the same volume and similar volume. So 4 times 3 times 2, so it is correct. So this is correct now and true. What is the mistake in B? Here we have plus. So it is false. What is the mistake in C? See, 3 times 4 times 2 is not equal to these numbers. If you multiply 3 times 4, 12, and 2 times 3, 6, 6 times 12, it is 72, okay? But here when you multiply 3 times 4 times 2, it is 24. So the two sides are not equal. What is the mistake in D? It has a plus here, plus here. To find or determine the volume, we multiply length times width times height. Okay, whatever the order, doesn't matter. Last question here in this section. You need which one gives you 48 cubic inches, the volume. Multiply length times width times height. 24 times 1 times 2 equal 48. So this is correct. Okay, let us try